All right, day 111, getting started. Just leaving the Best Western here. Gonna walk across the street and hopefully catch a bus. Thebus.com is how you find it for Rutland. Catch a bus out to the trailhead and just do a short 10 miles today. Warm up the legs, get ready for a couple real long roller coaster kind of hilly days to get to New Hampshire probably today and 2 or 3 more days. Probably 2 nights, 3 days, thereabouts, and say hi to where I graduated high school. Anyway, we'll catch up real soon. I'll see what I can catch at the bus and the trailhead when we get started. We'll go check out and get moving. All right, I didn't get any pictures of the bus.com or the bus, the Rutland bus, but it came a few minutes early to the Best Western. Here's the trail going southbound. This is Route 4. And the AT just goes back into the woods right over there. And we climb up 400 feet, have about 5 miles of nothing too hard. And then we have a long 1,400 foot climb, fairly steep. We'll see how it goes from there. It's hot out though. It's probably getting close to 80 already. It's only 10:30 in the morning. Stay tuned. My dry shirt about ready to get sweaty. Looks like we continue with the long trail for a little bit more. I think after the shelter, first shelter coming up in about a mile, I believe it changes over. We'll find out. All right, we've finished our part of the long trail. It goes to the left, the AT goes to the right. That's about 100 miles of the long trail here at Willard Gap. I'll go over here and show you the long trail to the north. Here's what's coming up for the guys and gals that are doing that. Tucker Johnson shelters right up the road here, right up the trail, another shelter. I hear the shelters on the long trail are really nice going forward compared to what we've been in. They haven't been so nice so far, but they've worked. And a little more information. Just realized too that the long trail continues with white blazes, so you gotta be a little careful, but the signs make it pretty clear. So the AT and the long trail are both white blazed. Just like Baxter State Park, all the trails are blue blazed except for the AT. It's the only one that's white. So I believe if I go up here and read this sign, it'll tell us what's coming up for us today on the AT. Stony Brook shelter, that's about 9 miles. That was a target for today. 17 real hard, fast miles yesterday. My knee's kind of hurting pretty good today in the back of it. Never hurt there before on this hike, but it's sore today, probably from running down that hill too fast. But let's see, Stony Brook shelter 9 miles. We'll see what comes after that or stop there. Stay tuned. There's little peaks of Killington. And I believe this is probably Pico Ski. There's still snow on this one. If you can tell that lighter color stuff there. It's still snow. They had to make it till June 1st. Maybe that's still part of Killington, I don't know. We'll find out today. See a little woodpecker going to town here. Made it to Gifford Woods. Hot showers, pay for campsites, free delivery, bear vault, Wi-Fi, so forth. There's campsites all over with little fire pits. There might be a privy up there. More campsites all over. There's some tenters down there. You hear this little guy? So this whole campground is Gifford Woods State Park. There's showers and bathrooms, coin operated. Some information about it. This is where last year Steady Eddie, Robert Kirker, I think is his name, he left here and then was crossing the stream not too far up that we'll cross here today, and got swept away because they had some bad flooding last year. And he got swept away and didn't make it. They found him about 1.5 miles down trail, down the river. He passed away. So we'll see that crossing here at some point. I don't think there are any memorials or anything for him, but anyway, as you see, there's some bear information for the park too. First nice little brook of the day. We'll probably do a little moment of zen here, enjoy. It's a nice waterfall. Side of the bridge, it empties into the pond up there. Here's a little view of Kent Pond. The AT walks near it, but I'm not sure we're getting any more views of it or not, but there it is over there. It's a pretty good sized pond. Here's a little better view of Kent Pond, Kent's Pond. Little island out there. Well, here's Mountain Meadows. Check this place out. No idea what it is, if it's a house or what, but it's pretty. And it's right on the lake. Heading to see some falls down this way. Stay tuned. I hear they're pretty nice. Alright, on the way to Thundering Falls. Might be the biggest falls in Vermont, maybe. Okay, Thundering Falls is the highest falls on the AT in Vermont, on the Appalachian Trail, which implies there are bigger waterfalls in Vermont, but this is still pretty nice. Check it out. Here's a boardwalk leaving Thundering Falls, and I see what we're about ready to climb. It's about 1,300 feet and very steep, I believe. Going up there, just above those trees. My knee, I don't know what happened to the back of my knee yesterday, but it is sore today. And the quads are backfiring. They're not happy to be hiking today. So luckily it's just 10 miles today. We'll take it easy after that and eat and get ready for some hard days coming up. Lots of elevation change to get from here to Hanover, New Hampshire. A little better view of what we're climbing. It probably doesn't look like much on the camera, but we'll find out. Sore as I am, it's going to be tricky, but it's not too much farther after that. Another 5 or 6 miles to camp. There's a little more about the falls. And the boardwalk. Stony Brook Shelter. It's home for the night. It says it's 5 miles. I think it's a little bit less this year. But anyway, we got one big climb coming up, so let's see how it goes. Finally broke down. Took some ibuprofen. Ate some sugar in the form of Welch's little juice drop things. Time to go. Check out this power line view of Killington or Pico. Pico, I think they say. There's still snow. That's the one we saw earlier. All right, coming up on Stony Brook Shelter. I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break here and then head on down. We were gonna stay here, but I think we're gonna go find a primitive campsite down by Stony Brook, the little creek river there, and see how that goes. I'll share some more details about what's going on down there, or what went on down there, that I've talked about a few minutes earlier in this video at the campsite. First, take a break for a restroom break and then get rolling. Well, this is Stony Brook Shelter. Just a simple AT shelter. But it looks fairly well maintained. Privy was good. Clean as they get. It's not saying a whole lot. Nails for hanging stuff all over the place. But we got about a half a mile down to Stony Brook campsites. There's some primitive campsites, not really official, but looks like there's plenty of spots down there to camp. We'll find out in a few minutes. They stuck a ladder in the middle of the woods here to get down these rocks, because I don't know any other way you'd get down them. All right, made it down to Stony Brook. That's there. There's a bridge that's going across. Just before you head across it going north, there's some campsites down here. Somewhere around here, unfortunately, is where that Steady Eddie slipped in the water and was lost. They found him a mile and a half downstream. Unfortunately, didn't make it. I'm not sure where it is. I don't know if this bridge was here, but it was just last July, I believe. So I'm not 100% sure, but it's somewhere around here. Could have been on a little stream we just crossed upstream. I could see that on a real bad flood being tricky to cross. R.I.P. Freddy, Steady Eddie, sorry. Steady Eddie. A little moment of zen. There's a little sunlight. There's a little memorial here that someone made. You got the American flag, a little bit about Robert Steady Eddie Kirker. See if you can read that. All right, day 111's in the books. Stay down here by Stony Brook. There's the brook right down there. You saw my tarp set up, just a lean-to with my bivvy set up. There are some mosquitoes. They're not terrible, but there's a few around. Started a small little campfire, little picnic table here, and a grill, but we're not using the grill. Making some freeze-dried meal and some rice. Pad thai, we'll call it. It's just a teriyaki rice, north side with peanut butter stuck in it. Anyway, this is it. We're just going to have a small little fire to keep a few bugs away and let it die out and hit the sack. Let's see, that was a short 10 or 11 mile day today. And tomorrow, it looks like it's 10 or 21 or 22 miles. So with lots of climbing. Let's see how the legs are. The knee and the quads are pretty bad today. So we'll just have to see how it plays out tomorrow. I don't know that there are campsites in between. I'm sure there's some place to camp every so often, but this is our spot for the night. How you like this? It's beautiful out here. And maybe with water on both sides of us flowing, the mosquitoes don't have a chance to set up shop. So there's the spot. That said, we'll catch up in the morning and hope you all have a good night. Thanks for watching. And if you need to send me an email, send it to HikingWithSlowAndSteady@gmail.com. And with that, I'm going to go eat and call it a night. Might stick my feet in that cold stream and get some soreness out. Good night, all. All right, we got our PCT bear hangs here tonight. Found a couple of good limbs, 10 to 12 feet off the ground. Got to do it on one limb, but it's too much weight. We have way too much food. But anyway, it's up there. The fire's pretty much out. We'll be up for a little bit longer. Make sure it's really out. And it's time to call it a night. Can't believe it, after 1,700 miles, I'm finally putting my feet, probably second time, in the cold, cold water. I know everyone suggests it, and I like to do it, but I'm not always near water when I want to take my shoes off. So tents are right there, my tarp is right there. No excuse not to. That feels good. Check out that nice farmer stand. Oh man, that is cold and hurts, but in a good way. We'll let them go numb here and dry off and hit the sack.